Sandusky is sentenced to at least 30 years. Kris Maher, Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. Former Pennsylvania State University football coach Jerry Sandusky was sentenced Tuesday to between 30 and 60 years in prison, 4 months after he was convicted of sexually abusing 10 boys over a decade and a half. The sentence all but ensures that Mr. Sandusky, 68 years old, will spend the rest of his life in a state prison. Legal experts say the chances of Mr. Sandusky successfully appealing his conviction were remote, and state law doesn't allow parole until the minimum sentence is served. Mr. Sandusky had faced a minimum of 10 years and a maximum of more than 200 years. Wearing a red prison jumpsuit, Mr. Sandusky stood motionless in a crowded but hushed courtroom as Judge John Cleveland read a list of individual sentences for 45 counts related to child sex abuse. Mr. Sandusky, a former longtime defensive coordinator for Penn State's football team, was convicted of those crimes in June. The case has rocked Penn State and the surrounding region, leading to the ouster of the university's president and longtime head football coach Joe Paterno, who died in January. The university accepted tough sanctions that will likely hobble its football program for years, and it has taken steps to improve oversight of administrators. The tragedy of this crime is that it's a story of betrayal, Judge Cleveland said before handing down the sentence in Senator County Court. Those who have never encountered a pedophile can hardly begin to understand the anguish of those who have been so expertly deceived. After Mr. Sandusky was led from the courtroom, his attorney, Joe Amendola, called the sentence reasonable, but he later said he would argue on appeal that the judge rushed the case to trial by repeatedly denying requests for more time. The lead prosecutor, Joe McJettigan, called the sentence wise and proper. Mr. Sandusky, who chose not to testify at trial, made a lengthy statement in the courtroom and again denied the charges. Others can take my life. They can make me out as a monster, he said. They can't take away my heart, and in my heart I know that I didn't commit these alleged disgusting acts. Attention will turn now to a criminal trial of 2 former campus officials charged with the perjury and in a grand jury investigation of Mr. Sandusky. That trial is set to begin in January. 4 civil lawsuits also have been filed against Penn State by men who say the school was negligent in failing to prevent abuse committed by Mr. Sandusky. Joe Feller, a Philadelphia attorney who represents several young men who say they are victims of Mr. Sandusky, said there is a realistic possibility that civil claims against the university can be settled by year end, a goal set by the school.